Do you also have a personal problem that you would like to discuss with Bertolt in the podcast? We would love to have you as our guest. Check out the link in the show notes of this episode for more info. And who knows, we will see each other in the studio.
Welcome to the Flip Thinking Podcast. In this podcast, you'll listen to intimate conversations between Bertolt Gunster and his guests. Together, they'll explore the guest's personal problem and try to make it feel lighter or make it disappear altogether. This can be achieved in different ways. Sometimes they can simply solve the problem, but more often than not, they'll find that they have to let go of expectations or views they hold about themselves. At other times, they can only observe the fact that there is a problem without judging it. And in some cases, they can flip think the problem.
Good morning. It's a morning. It's a Tuesday in Utrecht.
Yes.
And I'm sitting next to
Maaike.
To Maaike.
Hi.
And hi, good morning. Can you tell me something about Maaike?
Yeah. So I'm a student interior design.
Interior design?
Yes.
Yep.
And I'm 23 years old and I live by myself and I have a little parrot bird.
Ah.
And
What's the name of the parrot bird?
Poncho.
Poncho.
Yes.
Okay.
And I'm from Zwolle.
Zwolle,
Yes.
which is a city in the Netherlands.
Exactly.
In quite in the north, right?
Yeah.
Not almost, not.
No, it's a bit in the middle.
In the middle, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So this is about you.
Yeah.
Then about your problem.
Yeah.
What brings you here?
Yeah. So to understand my problem, I want to give a bit of a backstory.
Take your time.
So I am raised by my mom. I have never met my dad, my father. And I have lived with my brother, who is 9 years older.
32, right? Then.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. And a bit of my problem is I don't know how to deal with my mom because my mom has a bit of borderline behavior. Mm-hmm. And I often get into fights with her. And now I have a bit of the struggle that maybe I don't want to keep in touch with her, but also I don't have a father. So I feel a bit like an orphan then.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a big word, but
It feels like, in a way, right?
yeah, that's the struggle a bit.
And does the same account for your brother?
Yeah, my brother has a different father.
And he knows his father?
No, also not
Neither?
yet. No.
Oh.
It's a bit of a complicated situation.
It is, yeah.
Yeah. So my brother's father was too young. He was, I think, 21 or something when he had a child with my mom. So he found himself too young and he left.
He left the scene?
Yeah. And my father, what my mom says, I don't know if it's true, but my mom says it is because he had another family. He has another family, I know that, with two children as well.
Yeah.
But
did he cheat on this family, according to your mother?
According to my mom, yeah, exactly. He cheated, and my mom didn't know he was still together with his former wife.
So she was cheated too? She reports?
Yeah, exactly.
She reports, right?
Yeah.
If this is fact or not, you didn't check. You don't know. You have to.
I don't know.
You have to trust your mother on this, right?
Exactly. So for her, that's the reason he left. And I always, in my life, had like the story that my father was bad and he left. But now I get older and I get to know my mom better. She's not that trustworthy as I would think she
Right.
was. Yeah.
So how much of this story she told you is true?
True. Yeah.
So there are two problems. One, who is my father?
Yeah.
Will I ever know him? And how can I live without knowing who my father is? And then how to deal with my mother?
Yeah.
And the first problem makes the second problem more complex. You could say so, right?
I think so, yeah.
Because what you said, so if I won't be in contact with my mother, I have no parents at all, right?
Exactly, yeah.
So shall we start with examining how your mother behaves?
Yeah.
Because this is the current problem, right?
Exactly,
Right.
yes.
So can you give me an example of how she behaves?
Yeah. It's funny because when I signed up for this podcast, I didn't have a problem with her at that moment. It was just fine. But then a problem started. So I was thinking...
Lucky you.
Lucky me.
Lucky you. Yeah.
Yeah, so
because you said you used the word borderline, which is a quite serious word, of course, a quite severe accusation.
Exactly.
So can you back this up?
Exactly. So a few weeks ago, my mom decided to try some singing classes. So that's fine. She has a hobby. It's nice. But very coincidentally, she was scheduled in a class of my childhood best friend, who is she's a singer and she gives singing lessons.
She's a teacher of this class, or is she?
It's not like a class, but just one-on-one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, lessons, singing lessons. Yeah.
Singing lessons. Yeah.
Yeah. She signed up with your best friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she didn't know because you're just in contact with the music school itself.
Right.
Yeah. So my childhood best friend came over to our house when we were little, and she knows how my mom is and how she behaves, and she was a bit stressed because she didn't want to teach my mom. That was in a.
She didn't want to.
Yeah.
But she had to, or?
Yeah, because my mom was scheduled in her lesson, but she was just stressed out, and she was also a bit like crying, and it was very sad. So
this is quite severe.
Yeah, it is, because she's a bit insecure as well, but it's also the part that she knows my mom.
She doesn't really like your mother, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah. So I was texting my mom from, funny, you're scheduled with my best friend.
What a coincidence.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Could you maybe reschedule to have another day?
So you interfered. You tried to solve the problem.
Exactly.
Okay, interesting. Interesting.
Yeah. So my mom was a bit like no, like it was a bit like calm at the time, but we were a bit like arguing.
And did you give a reason why you asked your mother to reschedule?
I just said that my best friend, wasn't comfortable with teaching a person she knew. That is a fact. It's just she doesn't like that, because singing class is with one person.
It's very intimate.
Yes.
Yeah. But you didn't give the real reason, which was that your best friend was a little bit stressed out with the idea of having to teach your mother. This is what you didn't tell your mother, right?
No.
Okay,
exactly.
Continue.
Yeah. So then I was texting her at this time, but in the evening I needed to go to her house because we were having dinner together. So I came to her house, and before we even had dinner, we had this conversation, and I was a bit like fed up because she had no particular reason to not reschedule.
Right. Why not just give your friend a favor?
Yeah.
Right.
She knows her, so why wouldn't you be like? I know it's not needed to, but just to be kind and like have empathy for
what's
my
wrong
friend.
with just being kind?
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. But she refused, and this got so out of hand that she threw my backpack out of the house, and it was like very emotional and shouting, and she was insulting me and my best friend, and I was stressed.
And of course, you would reschedule now, right? I presume, right?
No. After that, no, still not. So,
still not.
No, because
although she was having troubles with your best friend, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So,
still, yeah. So
how did the situation evolve from then?
Yeah. So it got worse.
That's great. I like worse. Yeah.
From then, my best friend texted her manager from the music school and asked, like, I know this woman. Could you maybe say to this woman that she could reschedule in another class?
Yeah.
So her manager was kind and sent an email to my mom, like the...
Oh, gee, it's really becoming a story.
Yeah. The lessons of Friday are full, so could you reschedule?
Full?
Yeah.
So which is a lie in a way.
It is a lie. Yeah. But then my mom just sent thousands, okay, not thousands, but a lot of emails, like saying my friend's name, like, and thank you, but like in a sarcastic way. And like, she's not open to the show. She was being mean about my friend in the email.
Did she text or email your friend or the manager?
No, the manager.
The manager?
Yeah.
Okay, although the manager didn't say anything about your mother or the friend.
Exactly.
He just told us it's full, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So she didn't believe the argument. Mm-hmm. And in a way, she was right, your mother, because it was not the real argument. It was not the truth, right? Okay, so, continue.
okay, from there, right now, like at this moment, I don't have contact with my mom because she keeps sending me like thousands of text messages about how she hates me, or like
she hates you.
Yeah, or like
wait, hates you?
Okay.
Does she use words like "I hate you," or
well,
or is this a conclusion you draw out of the words she uses?
Yeah, maybe I did. Yeah. Okay, so
what kind of words does she use?
So Sunday she texted that I'm sadistic. So that's,
sadistic.
Yeah.
Well, these are quite severe words.
Yeah.
Sadistic.
Yeah.
Sadist. So this means that she thinks that you love it to give her pain, to torture her.
Exactly.
Okay. Sadistic. What more words does she use?
I don't know.
But a lot of emails.
Yeah. I can't recall like exact words right now, but yeah.
But the words weren't friendly and weren't opening. It wasn't an attempt to get into a dialogue.
Exactly.
Not really. No.
And she was saying like, so I'm almost graduating and I'm doing hip hop and I have like an end presentation. So she also said, I'm not coming to your graduation. I'm not coming. And that fact makes me so sad because at that moment I'm just realizing, that if my mom won't show up, there's no one to show up. And that's just...
and this is the pain you were describing in the beginning. I am an orphan in a way.
Yeah.
Now, maybe a stupid question, but aren't you in a psychological way already an orphan for a long time?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. It feels a bit that way.
You don't describe your mother as a real loving, caring mother.
No, not at all.
It sounds like, in a way, she's a burden for you, and you have to be continuously aware that things won't get out of hand with her. Is this a right statement?
Yeah. Yeah, it feels like I have no parents to fall back on. I have no safety net. That's the thing. Like my personality, I do a lot of things, and I go abroad. I travel a lot, and there's a lot of problems in my life. And always when there's a problem, I want someone to fall back on. But my mom doesn't support me. But it's not like she doesn't support me, but she makes it worse. Mm-hmm. Always she puts an extra step to make me even feel worse. Or and that's
even feel like more like an orphan than you already are in a way.
Yeah. I would rather feel an orphan, I think, because then you have a reason. But now both my parents are alive, and one, I don't know, but I know he still lives, maybe even in my own city. Mm-hmm. And my other doesn't care about me in a way.
Right.
Yeah.
So do you have questions about your father, your biological father? Can you tell me something about this?
So what I told my brother is 9 years older. He knew my father when he was a child. And the things he said...
He knew your father?
Yeah, because my father was my mother's boyfriend for a while.
Okay, he knew your father, but you don't know your father?
No.
And does he still know your father, your brother? No. So he lost contact with him?
Yeah, but he was still a child, so it was not... like he had a relationship with
But he does
him.
have some active memories? Or he does?
Exactly, yeah. And so one thing I heard when I was older, that my father got a restraining order from my mom to not see me. So he was restricted to see me. And I was always told that...
Is this something your mother told you, or is this a fact? Are you for sure?
My brother told me.
Okay.
Yeah, and
how does he know?
I don't know, but he was a child, yeah.
He knows from your mother, I presume, right?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
So, but you're not sure?
No.
But at least there's this story that your biological father got a restraining order from your mother.
Yeah.
And that this is the reason he couldn't see you anymore.
Exactly.
And your brother.
Yeah.
But if this is really true as a fact, you're not sure. You have to believe this in a way.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not sure about the details, but what I'm trying to say, what I heard from my mom was he left us, and from my brother, now later I hear another story that he did want to, but my mom didn't want him to be in my life. Yeah,
which is a completely different story.
Yes,
and which makes a lot of difference for you.
Exactly. Yeah,
because the question is, who is my father?
Exactly.
Is unanswered, and the only answers you have right now are answers produced by your mother that your father is an unpleasant person.
Yeah.
But maybe this is not true. You're not sure.
I'm not sure. No.
So let's change a little bit the subject, and then maybe we come back to how to deal with my mother. Let's investigate. Aren't you eager for getting to know your father?
Yeah. I do think so.
So what did you do with this longing until now?
So it was, I think, a few months ago that my mom sent me a website from him. And for the first time in my life, I had a phone number.
Oh?
Yeah.
Okay, this surprises me, yeah.
Yeah, so...
so you did have a name and a phone number and a website?
Yeah. And so suddenly my whole... world or my whole view changes.
Yeah.
So from now I have the possibility to contact him.
When was this? When? How long ago?
I think in February.
Yeah, and it's May now,
yes,
right?
Exactly.
For the one that's listening.
Yeah.
So just a few months ago.
Yeah.
Quite recent. So what did you do with this information?
So right now I'm in my graduation year of my studies, and I think right now it's going to be quite an impact if I would contact him right now, because I need to focus on my studies, and it's only a few weeks before I graduate. So I think I was saying to myself, okay, this is a big thing, but I just put it aside now, and maybe in a few months.
And are you curious or hesitative or anxious? What's your emotional state of being in regard to this possibility to get in contact with your father?
Yeah, it's an interesting question because so my father is Iranian, so he's not Dutch. And what my mom always told me, even when I was younger, like, look out for the foreign-looking people because they could abduct you. That was basically what she was saying. Because my mom was super scared he would abduct me and take me to Iran. Even when I'm talking about this with my brother, he's saying, like, be cautious with it because he's not Dutch. You don't know what culture he has, or you don't know him.
Does he live in the Netherlands? Does he have a Dutch website, or?
It was an English website, I think. But
does he live in the Netherlands, or?
Yeah, maybe a bit weird, but I have seen him in my life. I have
more and more information is getting into this podcast.
Yeah, sorry.
When did you see him? No, it's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was one time when I was very young, I think like 6 or 8 years old, and I was in primary school. And I walked out of the school and I saw my mom with a strange man. And I was not dumb. He was like foreign looking. So I was thinking this could be my father. And he ran up to me and hugged me and gave me kisses and said things like, oh, I love you. You know that, right? And it was for me very like
overwhelming, of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
And how old were you? What age? Roundabout?
I think 6 or 8.
Very young.
Yes, I was very young.
So a sudden encounter with your biological father.
Yeah.
Unexpected.
Yeah. But I had it 2 times in total. There was another time as well.
There was another encounter later.
Maybe before or later, but it was around the same age, I think. Yeah.
So how did these encounters influence you at that time?
I think I was just a bit stressed out. I remember with the other encounter, I just went home and I just cried. But yeah, I think when I was younger, I didn't realize how much impact it had on me because I was just a child and I was just playing outside. I was not dealing with the fact that I didn't have a father. But now that I get older...
Suddenly there was a father.
Yeah.
So can we state together that as well as your mother, as your biological father did a bad job?
Yeah.
Both.
I think
both.
So. Yeah.
Because when he hugs you and says, I love you, and then leaves the scene, this is not particularly a good thing to do to a little girl, I think, yeah. I think this makes it for you more difficult to get in contact with him because he's not a kind of neutral person. You already have a kind of recollection of him.
Yeah.
And a kind of history with him.
Yeah.
although it's very small, it's quite, in a way, quite traumatic, I think.
I think so, yeah.
Because you're also crying now. If you're listening, you won't see Maaike. But can you tell me something about your sadness now, or your sorrow, or pain?
I don't know. It bit overwhelms me, actually.
Yeah.
I never had really trouble talking about my father or something, but I think the fact that it's now such a big deal with my mom, and the stress if I even want to be in contact with her, I think that stresses me out, because then I have no one. And I think that there is my pain, and not particularly that I don't have a father, because that's fine. If
that's what you're used to, right? In a way.
Yeah.
So now, getting in contact with your father, do you carry with you a kind of hope that he could be this caring father in the future? Or have you let go of this hope?
I think as a person, I'm always hopeful, or like romantic, or how you say it. Like, I do like to believe in fairy tales, I think. And like, you have so many movies where a child is searching for their father, or things on TV, and you find your father, and they're so, like, first they're and then eventually the father is like, oh, I would have always wanted to be in touch with you, but I was too scared. And I think there will always be a part of me which hopes for.
And the music comes in, and then the movie ends, and everybody's happy, embracing one another, living happily after and taking care of one another.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the fact is, it's reality, and it's not the movies. And I think that's a fact I don't like to accept. Yeah.
And what holds you back of accepting this reality?
Well, I think first I need to find him, or I need to put in some steps to find him. I think then I will.
Then you know more, right?
Yeah, because exactly. Then I will decide.
For now, you know nothing.
No, exactly.
But even in the most idealistic version of life, imagine, right?
Yeah.
Imagine, I'm thinking along with you, trying to find out how to navigate from here.
Yeah.
So even in the most idealistic scenario, you would fall another in the arms and, oh, you look like me, you see, you are my daughter, and maybe he has other daughters or sons, and they resemble you in a way, and all of you think, oh, we resemble one another. Well, in the most idealistic scenario, something like this would happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is a great experience, right?
Yeah.
But from then on, he will never be able to restore all these years he wasn't there for you as a father. Mm-hmm. You were an orphan regarding to your father, right? Mm-hmm. Until now.
Yeah.
And maybe in the future he could do something for you, or your siblings, part siblings in a way, could be there for you in the most idealistic scenario. Mm-hmm. But still, as a grown-up person, being 25, 30, 35, 40, you have to navigate through life on your own in a way still, right?
Yeah.
Because this is what children do. They find their own path in life.
Yeah.
And it's nice to have parents you can rely on and you can trust that they can help you. Yeah. But in essence, you'll be on your own in the future.
Yeah.
So even in this most idealistic scenario, wouldn't you be on your own in a way too?
Yeah, I think so. But I don't have a problem of being on my own.
You manage till now quite good, right?
Yeah. I think I'm very independent, and when I was,
And this brings me to a key question. Yeah. What's wrong with being an orphan?
Not much, I think.
Couldn't we flip this, and what's good to be on your own, and to navigate on your own, and to be an adult, not needing anybody at all? Yeah. Only when you need somebody, you can find people. It can be your brother, it can be a lover, it can be anybody. Mm-hmm. But you don't have to depend on your parents anymore, isn't it? Isn't this a good thing in a way?
I think it is. But I always thought it was. But now I feel it just back smashing me for some reason.
Yeah, and you do have real problems now because you have to find out with your father. Which, if I would be you, I would be very curious. I would just want to know him, to see him, listen to him. How does he talk? There's a lot of curiosity. If I would be you, I think I would be curious, utterly curious. Also, was my mother lying, or was she telling the truth?
Yeah.
And, was he a really annoying person, cheating on his wife? And this is the story of your mother, truth or not? If I would be you, I would check it out.
Yeah.
And so this is a real problem to be solved in a way.
Yeah.
And also the relationship with your mother, how to carry on with somebody who's making such a fuss of that you are just asking her, would you please be so nice to reschedule an appointment with my best friend because he's a little bit insecure, and your mother refuses. This is not the most pleasant parent to have.
No.
So these are two real problems.
Yeah.
But it all boils down to the core question, and this is why I think you are here.
Yeah.
What's wrong with being, on an emotional level, an orphan?
Yeah.
How does this question land?
I don't know. It's more in a practical sentence when I am in a very stressed situation in my life, and I've been in very stressed situations. It's just very alone or something. Yeah. And I think I find it hard to ask for help from my friends or something because they wouldn't do the same, because in such situations with them, they would ask their parents. So I don't want to rely on people, but in effect, I have to sometimes.
We all have to.
Yeah.
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 We all have to. Do you have currently a lover?
No.
Did you have one?
I did, yeah.
Yeah. And having a lover, how was it with the idea to manage through life alone? Did you feel supported by him or her?
Yeah. So,
was it him or her? Or
him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you feel supported and loved and embraced and taken care of during the best times of this relationship?
So I'm thinking about my first relationship. That was when I was 17. And what I maybe later realized, I was maybe in love with him, but also with his family. And maybe it sounds a bit weird, but even though his parents were divorced, his parents were so nice to me and welcoming. And like it felt like a family, and it felt like, warm. And I think being there and experiencing, because I was still 17, he still lived at his parents' house. For the first time ever, I felt what it was like to have a kind of family or belonging somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really having people around you that take care of you and that see you and that want the best for you in a way. Could you say so?
Yeah. And it's not like I don't have that, because I still have my brother and I have a very sweet grandma and other people as well. But it's so different to have like a family.
And this is what you deeply long for, right?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Yeah. So maybe this is quite rude intervention now, but just create your own family in the future. And what you long for, create it.
Yeah.
But your parents won't help you with this. They won't.
No.
They just won't. So, when I trust what you tell me, and I do, chances are they never will.
Yeah.
And your hope that they will in the future, I think, will cause a lot of pain.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, but with your father, you have to find out. Because you're not... we can be sure. Maybe he is a very kind, loving person, apologizing, saying, I did so many things wrong, give me a second chance. When he does so, I think your heart will open immediately.
Yeah.
So you have to check this out first before coming to the conclusion that you are a complete orphan, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Right. But when we predict the future, in a way, we can't. But when we do so, chances are that he might, how nice he might be, that he will not be that caring father, loving, supporting, in a way, friend that you hope he could be. Mm-hmm. Chances are he won't.
Yeah.
So now, having said all this, what's troubling you right now in this conversation? What's your next? What could be a next question? How are your emotions right now?
I think my biggest question is still what I need to do with my mom. I think that's troubling me the most, and that's where I'm struggling.
One thing I want to help you is don't interfere with a conflict between your best friend and your mother. Don't interfere.
No. Yeah.
But it's a practical advice.
Yeah.
Don't try to change your mother.
Yeah. Maybe this was me interfering between them, but there are thousands examples where
you have a conflict with her directly, right?
Yeah. And a lot of times I block her, or I have no contact with her, and then she tries everything, and she starts contacting everybody to be in contact with me again, and it causes conflicts as well. Okay, let's
investigate this a little bit further, because you don't want to break with your mother completely, right?
No.
Or are you on the verge of doing so, or?
Oh, right now I didn't have contact with her for maybe 2 weeks. Yeah.
But did you ever say to your mother, I don't want to see you at all anymore for the rest of my life?
No, I did. I maybe say, like, if you continue like this, I will. But
you never said so. I
never said so. I'm doing right now. No.
So for you, idealistically, knowing your mother as she is and accepting that she won't change. Let's try to investigate this question. Accepting she won't change, and then looking to what you want for kind of relationship with your mother. What would be the best option for you?
Yeah, it's a difficult thing, because
accepting she doesn't change, right?
Yeah, exactly. And that accepting is already difficult enough, I think. Yeah, it's hard to say, because I just want her to or not involve in my life, or if she would be continuing like this, I would not want her to be involving. Yeah.
At all.
Yeah, I think so. A part of me, but at the same time, I really want to have one parent. So that's, I think, the only reason why I'm still in touch with her.
So if you would break contact with her, if you would do so, what kind of conclusion would you draw out of your life, or about who you are for kind of person, or what meaning would you give to this decision if you would break with her completely?
I would feel just alone, I think.
Yeah, and then we come back to the orphan thing, right?
Yeah. It's always a thing, like when you're new with other people and you're sitting at a dining table and they ask, "Oh, what do your parents do?" or something. It's a conversation which is brought up very often, and like Father's Day, for example, is a hard day for me in a year, and I think it would be very hard to also have a difficult Mother's Day. Yeah, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how I would vision it.
So your mother is, in a way, breaking kind of ground rules how to behave with people, and she does so with you and your best friend and the manager of your best friend. This is who your mother is, right?
Yeah.
So now let's investigate, how would it be to stay in contact with your mother? So not cutting all the ties between you and the mother.
Yeah.
And doing so in such a way that it would be bearable for you, that you could survive in such a contact, right?
Yeah.
How would it be that you say to your mother, these are kind of ground rules for communication. If you do this, I won't accept it. If you do this, I won't accept it. And every time she breaks the rules, then you say, I'll be out of touch for a while.
Yeah.
I'll just break contact. You're not doing nice. You're being unfriendly. And if you do so, I don't want to. And I just don't want to be in contact for a while.
Yeah.
If you need me, I'll be there. If I can do something for you, I'll be there. I'm your daughter. You can count on me.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I can count on you when I need you too.
Yeah.
But as soon as you do unfriendly things, or as soon as you accuse me or whatever, I'll just break the tie for that moment.
Yeah.
How would it be? Like you teach a dog to behave in a way, right?
Yeah, I think that's how it is right now. But the problem is, after a few months or a few weeks have passed, then we get in touch again, and we just ignore that there was a problem in the first place.
Great.
Yeah.
What's wrong with this? What's wrong?
Because for me, every time she crosses my borders and we get into a fight, and then we just forget about it, and for me, it just adds up.
Yeah, but don't let it add up. She's in a way. But if she's borderline or not, I don't know.
Yeah.
But you just gave me one. No, it's a few examples. She also informed you about the restraining or blah blah blah, and she was there with your biological father at school, which is not a good thing to do as a mother too. Yeah. She should have realized that this could have been devastating for you as a young child. Yeah. So your mother is not the best parent, to say the least, right? So your hope that she will learn and she understands that she hurts you. Yeah. This is an illusion. She never will. She never will. So just go back to normal as if nothing happened. And this is your new life. This is new future. Yeah. You don't have a mother in the sense of a warming, caring, normal mother like the family you came into with your friend for a few years ago. Yeah. She will never be this mother, but she can be a kind of B mother, right? Yeah. So your hope that she will be reasonable causes your pain. Yeah. Let go of this hope. Yeah. She is just stupid in a way. Yeah. Accept this. Yeah. And go back to normal. Go back to normal. And if she says, shouldn't we talk about what happened? Then you could say, no, why? We just go back to normal. Why? Why should we? We know both what happened and it's okay. People hurt one another, say stupid things. Well, just go back to normal life. Yeah. Wouldn't that be easier for you? Yeah. I think like my brother is way more good at it. Realistic. Yeah, because he can just let go or something and just and I'm your mother will never understand your pain. No. she'll never well, these are big words. I don't know if I don't know, this is too strong. But take into account that chances are that your mother will never understand deeply your pain or that she just lacks empathy. Yeah. And deal with it. Yeah. In an adult way. Yeah. And this could make life easier in a way. Yeah, if I could. It's easier said than done. I know this very well. It's easier said than done. Yeah. Yeah. So in a way, you have to give up hope for your mother that she will be a full, complete, warm, caring mother. Yeah. She never will. Yeah. And there is still a little bit hope. Let go of this hope. Yeah. There's still a little bit hope regarding to your biological father. Yeah. And this hope can only... you can only deal with this hope when you are confronted with reality, because the hope could be true. It could be, but you have to find out first. Exactly. Yeah. And this will be after your graduation. Yeah. Not until now. So the answer for this relationship is in the future. We can deal with this right now. Exactly. But also there, it could be that hope could cause the pain. Yeah. And that you have to let go of the hope in regards to him too. Yeah. So it looks like it all boils down to letting go of hope. Yeah, I think so. I was afraid of this because I don't like accepting that I don't have any influence in it. No, but you can build your own warm, caring relationship, family, whatever. You can build what you long for, create it. Yeah. Not through them. It makes you dependent on them. Yeah. But through your own actions. Yeah. But are you confident? And because you're now 23, right? Yeah. So how will you be when you're 33 or 43, 53? Yeah. It's a lot of years in the future. Yeah. So, but can you imagine a future where you have created a warm, caring, loving entity where you belong to? Yeah. Without your mother and biological father? I could hope for, but... but are you confident that you can do so? No. No. Well, that's a good... Thank you for being so honest. So where's your doubt? Because I never really experienced it how it was, and I have a lot of trouble from this fact. I'm also very struggling with having relationships. I think so. Yeah. So till right now, and I know I'm still young, but I find it hard to connect with people because I've such an anger or something inside of me, which is also like anger towards my mom, but also I'm very fast. I'm done with people. Like, and I don't know if I will... Are you easily hurt in a way? Would you say so? I think so. Yeah. And I think so too. Yeah. Yeah. And I don't know if I will be able to get past that hurt and start a family. I don't know if I would ever be able to. So the fact that I'm afraid would be would be the cause that you won't manage, right? Yeah. So do you have words for what lacks, what you need, or what you don't have, or what you don't are, in a way of identity? What is it that you think lacks to create such a loving entity? Yeah, that's a
good question.
Thank you. I like compliments.
I think I lack a bit of caring or something. Like my mom was never caring for me, and I don't think I am a caring person as well.
How would you describe somebody who's not caring?
Cold, I think.
Cold.
Yeah.
Cold.
Yeah. Yeah, just a bit harsh. I never saw myself as that kind person, and I found out I even don't like it when somebody calls me kind or something. Sometimes
you don't like it when they say so, because you think they're lying in a way, or you don't believe them, or do you think they don't know you really?
Yeah. I think that's.
So now this strikes me, and it moves me, because now I'm sitting facing somebody who, in essence, thinks she's cold.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. How is it that you have given words to this negative self-image you carry with you? I am a cold person.
What it does to me?
Yeah, using these words to describe yourself. How does it feel, or what do you think saying so? You can choose either emotions or thoughts.
Yeah.
What does it?
Well, it's not like I hate the fact that I'm cold. It's just who I am for some reason. Yeah.
Could you say that during your childhood with your mother, in a way, you had to close your heart to make a kind of wall to survive? Are these two big words, or do you recognize these words?
Well, maybe, but it didn't really seem that way. I think if you look at me, and I have a lot of friends, and I'm very social and easygoing, and I make contact with people very easy, or I make friends easy. But in a way, I feel like that was also always there or inside, but it's not visible. Yeah. It's more
hidden.
Deep.
It's hidden.
It's more hidden. Yeah.
So, as a kind of experience of yourself, this must have led to the idea that you were quite warm or friendly or easy to go with for somebody who's actually, in essence, very cold.
Yeah.
So they know people that knew you in a way, in a kind of superficial way.
Yeah.
This is how you experienced yourself.
Yeah.
Until today. Because now we're sitting here and the word cold is on the table suddenly.
Yeah.
So now look at the word cold again. This is how you felt. This is how you feel.
Yeah.
And this is a thought, conviction you have about yourself.
Yeah.
A thought. Is this thought a reality? Are you always, by definition, in the core, a cold person?
Yeah, I think so.
You think so?
Yeah.
So explain to me, how could it be that you wanted to help your friend when she had to work with your mother? Why? How come? I don't understand, because you're a cold person. Why did you care? This is one example I can give you, one counter example of being not cold.
Yeah.
How could it be that you enjoyed being embraced by a warm family? Although they were divorced, still you belonged in a way, and still it was a warm family. Yeah. How could it be that you experienced this as a kind of shower? You loved being there. Yeah. How? Because somebody who's cold doesn't enjoy a situation like this, right?
Yeah.
So these are two counter examples. So again, the same question. You think you experience yourself as being cold, and you really think this is in the core who you are.
Yeah.
But is this a conviction, a reality, or a thought?
I think that's difficult to say, because
it's deeply ingrained in you, isn't it? It's deeply ingrained in your self-image.
Yeah.
That just moves me, sitting next to somebody talking so eloquently and openly and frankly about who she is and all your hesitations, and taking care of your friend, and really getting angry that your mother doesn't take into account that this for your friend is a very unpleasant experience.
Yeah.
So I experience you as a very warm person. But you don't.
Yeah.
And this strikes me.
Yeah.
I'm not telling that you are warm.
No.
I'm just curious that you think that you are cold.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to convince you being warm, right?
Yeah.
It really takes me aback.
Yeah. I have an example what really where I really surprised myself, where there was this guy, and he said he like we were a bit like dating, and he said he didn't like me, but I was very kind. Like I heard from someone else that he says, "Oh, she's a very kind person, but it's just I don't like her." And I was so offended at that moment, because I was thinking I would rather have him hate me and don't like me than think I'm kind and don't like me, because then, so it felt like offensive for some reason. And now when you're saying this, like, I think you're a warm person, I'm thinking you don't know me or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because for a cold person, you can act quite warm.
Yeah.
But it feels like a kind of an act.
Yeah, it's all the outside, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Again, the same question. Is this a reality or a conviction? Are you always, and by definition, now and in the future, and in the long future, will you always be a cold person? That's it.
Yeah, for me, it feels like it.
But is your feeling a reality? I accept that you feel like this. I won't argue with you. But is this feeling a reality?
If we are what we do and not what we think, then I'm not cold.
No, let's take another example. If you say all swans are white, the moment you see one black swan, this statement isn't true.
Yeah.
You can say most swans are white, but not all swans are white, because you only have seen one swan that is black, right? So if there's one warm moment, one warm or two more warm moments, and if I talk longer with you, I think we will find 5,000 examples of you just being warm, right?
Yeah.
So if you have only one counter example, how could it be that you experience yourself by definition always in the future and will be very cold?
Yeah. But I think that's the whole conversation about, are humans or people good or bad in essence? I feel
we can be both all the time. You can be cold, you can be warm.
Yeah.
Being cold is very good. You need being cold if you want to reject somebody, if you want to get out of a situation, if you want to stop something, and if you want to be assertive, you need the behavior of being capable of being cold.
Yeah.
And always having to be warm is a kind of prison. It just doesn't work. So in regards of behavior, you need cold and warm, right?
Exactly, yeah.
But you don't allow yourself cold. You have to be warm, because otherwise you will have to live with the idea that you are cold.
Yeah.
So cold is for you the forbidden area in a way.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Maybe you're thinking about this.
I think I am cold with a bit of warmth, and a lot of people are warm with a bit of coldness.
Yeah, I think in the core, you think I'm in the core a cold person, but I can act as if I am warm.
And in those moments with experiencing other families, I do experiencing that warmth. But yeah, so I do think I am capable of warmth. Yeah, but maybe not.
So how would it be to say, if I am cold or warm, I don't care. I don't think about who I am. I start to think about behavior. And now and then I'm cold, which is a good thing, because it enables me to temporarily stay out of the connection with my mother, which I need.
Yeah.
So cold is a good thing in regards to my mother. I need it to be cold. It's a, in sense of behavior, it's nice to be warm too.
Yeah.
So whether I am cold or warm, it doesn't bother me anymore.
No.
I just let go of this idea of who I am, and I start to think about behavior.
Yeah.
Would you be capable of doing so?
I think so, yeah. Yeah.
And this is a very cautious new path you are examining now.
Yeah.
Can you elaborate a little bit on, I think I can so, and can do so?
Yeah, just allowing myself to be cold or warm, it doesn't matter. I think I could do that. My brain needs to wrap this. This idea, when I'm observing you, and I have the assumption that the idea of being, in essence, a cold person is so deeply ingrained in you that it just needs time to get out of your system. Yeah.
This is something you won't manage easily.
Yeah.
It will take some time.
Yeah.
How would you experience yourself if this negative self-image wouldn't bother you anymore? How would that be for you?
Freeing, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
because now I need to have that facade of being a warm person or something.
Yeah, it feels like a facade.
Yeah.
Whereas I think, knowing you, we are talking now for around about an hour. I think I don't experience you as being cold at all. But you think it's a kind of facade.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think we are at the end of this conversation. I think your question is not about, it's partly about, do I have real parents or not? Am I an orphan or not? Because you know, in essence, that you are, in a way, an orphan. Maybe there's some love from your father. You have to find out.
Yeah.
Hope with your mother, well, it's best thing to let it go. If there are warm moments, well, thank you very much for these. Yeah. But that's not really something to aspire.
No.
So you have to accept in a way that you don't have these loving parents that you needed.
Yeah.
But the core question of this podcast is not, do you need warm persons?
No.
You need warm parents. The question is, can you be warm within yourself and for yourself?
Yeah.
Or do you reject yourself on a very deep level, having this very severe conviction that I am in the core a cold person, which is an incredible burden to carry.
Yeah.
And how would it be to let go? And this is, I think, the core question of your search in life right now. It's not about your parents, it's about you.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't thought it would be this. But yeah.
And hopefully it frees you because you don't need the warmth and acceptance of your parents anymore.
No.
To get rid of the self-negative. You can free yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do so.
Yeah.
Just do so. and get into a warm, loving relationship. And there will be fights, and there will be moments that you close, and that you build a wall because you feel so hurt and vulnerable. This is what happens in relationship. It happens with all of us, and it will happen with you too. The more love there is, the more chances that you will be hurt painfully.
Yeah.
This is what happens this is how relationships makes us evolve and grow.
Yeah.
And all this pain, there will be pain in the future in your relationships too.
Yeah.
But hopefully this pain doesn't confront you with this stupid idea that you are cold, but only will help you to grow and to transform your relationship into a caring and loving and warm relationship.
Yeah. Let's hope for it.
I hope for it, yeah. And hopefully you will encounter the people that will be a help on your path and not a burden.
Exactly.
And if they are, just let go.
Yeah.
And don't try to be warm for them.
No.
So I think we are at the end of this conversation. Do you have the same idea about this now?
I think I do. Yeah, but I need some time, I think.
To let it sink in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously, you think about what would this conversation go, and I was thinking it would more go to how can I interact with my mom.
Which is difficult too, right?
Yeah.
This is a problem you still have, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Treat her like, in a way, a dog, right? If she doesn't behave properly, just don't do this, mother. I won't accept it. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. And we'll stay in touch. And hopefully this letting go of this negative self-image I'm cold, hopefully you'll be successful in this and it will free you. And the answer is in the future. So we'll stay in touch. We'll stay in touch.
Thank you.
And you too.
Wondering how our guest is doing these days? Well, we recently caught up with them. Stay tuned to hear their latest update.
Hi everyone! It has now been 2 months since the recording of the podcast. I graduated from my bachelor's, so I'm currently doing very well. After the recording, I've been thinking a lot about the conversation. I found it very pleasant with Bertolt, and he listens very well and made me feel safe enough to share my story and feelings. He also asked a lot of critical questions that I did not think about myself. For example, him saying that I already knew I could never have a mother, since I already know her, but there could be a chance of having a father, because I haven't met him yet, just changed my whole perspective. So it inspired me to take my first step in my search for my biological father. After some research, I found some old pictures and newspaper articles about him. I found out that he was present during my first year as a baby, which I think is very impactful for a child. Also, that as a child I was trained to avoid certain areas in the neighborhood without knowing why, and that I had been evacuated during birthday parties when he was around. From what I heard, he was also so eager to see me that he once climbed up and broke into our house on the first floor via a balcony. And this are also crazy stories to process since I'm just now hearing it for the first time in my life. And this is all the more reasons I want some answers from him. So a week ago, I decided to contact him via email, and I'm not having a response yet. So as we speak, we are waiting for a reply. The contact with my mother currently is non existent. I did have a brief contact with her, but it quickly got out of hand again. During the podcast, we talked about the self image that I am emotionally cold on a deeper conscious level. And I found it very difficult to understand if I considered this really a problem. But funny enough, weeks after the recording, I noticed all sorts of things that I was craving more warmth. For example, all my favorite artists have one thing in common, and that is that they are painting warm sceneries. While I'm drawing myself or characters a bit more cold. So that's funny enough, a contradiction. um, I also read a couple of books of Bertolt about flip thinking, and it became more and more clear to me that I just have to allow myself to have those feelings and allowing myself to be cold. When I realized that I felt cold, but it was okay to feel that way, I made peace with having no contact with my mother. Allowing myself to be cold has ironically let me feel more warmth. And now I can express it more towards others and maybe more importantly towards myself. So for now, things are going very well, and I'm waiting for my biological father to reply. I want to thank Bertolt and the team for making this podcast possible and wish anyone who is listening right now and may recognize themselves in this story lots of strength and success. Bye for now.